In this session, we are going to discuss about the chapter real numbers. Before going into the chapter of real numbers, let us have a brief recap about real numbers. We know that the first number system is the natural numbers, and it starts from n and it is denoted by the letter n, and it starts from 1, 2, 3 and so on. The next number system is the whole numbers. If we add 1 to the natural numbers, we will get a whole number, and it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. And the next number system is the integers, and it is denoted by the letter z. If we add negative numbers to the whole numbers, we will get the integers. So here we will get -2, -1, 0, 1, 2 and so on. And the next number system is the rational numbers, and it is denoted by the letter q. What are rational numbers? If we write integers in the form of the fraction where the denominator is not equal to 0, we call it as a rational numbers. And we can define rational numbers in another way. How do we can define the numbers which are either terminating or non-terminating repeating decimals? We call it as a rational numbers. So here, if you consider any two integers in the form of the fraction, we call it as a rational number. We can write 2 by 3 or -1 by 3 and so on. And the next number system is the irrational numbers. What are irrational numbers? The numbers which are non-terminating, non-repeating decimals, we call it as an irrational numbers. So here, what is the value of root 2, which is 1.414 and so on. We can observe that after the decimal point, the number is non-terminating and it is non-repeating. So we can say that it is an example of the irrational number. We can consider the value of root 3 also, which is 1.732 and so on. So here you can consider any number such that after the decimal point it should be non-terminating and non-repeating. So here 2, 3, 6, 8 up to so on. These are all irrational numbers. So all these together combined, we get the real numbers. And the properties of the natural numbers, whole numbers, integers and rational and irrational numbers, all you studied in the previous classes. Now in this session we are going to discuss about two important theorems in the real numbers. The first one is Euclid division lemma. And the second one is the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. In this session we are going to discuss about Euclid division lemma. Before going to state this lemma, let us take few examples and consider it. So here consider 2 and 4. Here if you divide, what you are getting as 2 2's 4 and we are getting the remainder as 0. Now divide here 5 with 2. So what you are getting here, 2 2's 4 and you are getting the remainder as 1. So here if you are considering any two positive integers, you know that 4 and 2 are positive integers and 5 and 2 are also positive integers. If you consider any two positive integers, we are getting some quotient and we are getting some remainder r. Right? Here also if you consider any two positive integers, we are getting some quotient and we are getting some remainder r. Now you know that by divisibility rule you can write dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Based on this, how do you can write here 4 is equal to, you know that it is dividend, this is dividend, right? Right, this is divisor and this is quotient and this is remainder. We can write dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. By using that we can write 4 is equal to divisor into quotient, which is 2, plus remainder, which is r. Here also based on that you can write dividend is equal to 5 is equal to 2 into 2 plus 1. So how do you write 2 into 2 plus 1? So now how we have written, we have considered two positive integers a and b, such that how we have written a is equal to, what is this one, b, here this one q plus r. Here also we have written the same thing, a is equal to, this is b and this is q and plus r. So here to state this one, let us consider given any two positive integers. A and B. If you consider any two positive integers a and b, what we are getting one equation such that a is equal to bq plus r. Right? If you consider any two numbers, any two positive numbers, we are getting one equation. How we have written that equation as a is equal to bq plus r. This is the first condition. And based on these examples, we can observe here the remainder here is 0. So here the remainder can be 0, or here you can observe that here the remainder is 1. You know that here that this value 1 is greater than 0, right? Here you can observe that here what we are getting here, r is greater than 0. Here we are getting the remainder is equal to 0. Here we are getting the remainder is greater than 0. You can consider any of the example here. Let us consider here 8 and 3 here. So how much you will get here? 3 to 6. You are getting the remainder as 2, which is greater than 0. So consider any two positive integer. The remainder can be 0 or it can be greater than 0. So here we are getting one equality and we are getting one inequality. Here this one, how do you can write? We can write it as 0 less than r. You can write it as r greater than 0, or you can write it as 0 less than r. So based on these two values, how we can write here? Here we can write it as 0 less than or equal to r. Whether r is equal to 0 or 0 less than r. Based on this, how you can write here 0 less than or equal to r. This is the condition for the remainder. Now check here the condition for the remainder and the divisor. Here you can observe that when we should stop the division, when here you can observe that 0 less than 2. Since the 0 less than 2, we stop with the division. Here also 1 less than 2. So we stop with the division. So when we stop the division, when the remainder is less than the divisor, then we stop the division. So here based on that, how do you write here? 0 less than or equal to r. This is the first condition. Here what we got here? R. Here the remainder is r, which is less than what we consider the divisor b. So what is the third condition here? R is less than b. Here if you take any two positive integers, based on the divisibility rule, how we written a is equal to bq plus r. And what is the condition for remainder? The remainder can be 0 or the remainder greater than 0. Based on these two conditions, we have written 0 less than or equal to r. And what is the next one we observed here? Based on these two examples, what we observed next? Here the remainder is less than the divisor. Here we took the divisor as b, so we can write r is less than b. Now what we got here? 0 less than or equal to r. What is the first condition? 0 less than or equal to r, and we got r is less than b. Now based on these two conditions, how we can write 0 less than or equal to r, and what is r, which is less than the divisor, right? Based on these two, we can write it as 0 less than or equal to r less than b, right? This theorem we call it as an Euclid division lemma. Now you can state. How we can state here? Given any two positive integers a and b, if you consider any two positive integers a and b, then there exists some integers q and r. Write the statement here. Given any two positive integers a and b. So here we took two positive integers a and b, then there exists, this is the symbol for there exists, unique positive integers q and r. So here if you took any two positive integers a and b, then what we are existing here, there exists unique integers q and r. Here you can can observe that this quotient and the remainder are unique. It does not change. So here we mentioned here there exists unique positive integers q and r such that this is the symbol for such that how we have written in the form of the equation a is equal to pq plus r. Here we have written in the form of the equation a is equal to pq plus r. Right? So here if you consider any two positive integers based on the divisibility rule, there exists unique positive integers q and r such that we have written a is equal to pq plus r. And what is the condition here? 0 less than or equal to r less than b. So this lemma we call it as an Euclid division lemma. Since it is based on the division, we call it as a division lemma. Why we call it as an Euclid division lemma? In the earlier class, in the Euclid elements of geometry, you already learnt in the 9th class. What we have discussed here, Euclid is one great mathematician. He, in his book, this theorem is there. So we call it as an Euclid division lemma. Now, what is the use of this lemma? We can find, by using this lemma, we can find the HCF of given two numbers. If you have given any two numbers, biggest numbers, you can find the HCF of the given two numbers by using this theorem. And in the exercise 1, based on this theorem, we are going to prove some theorems. So this is the use of this theorem. In the next session, we are going to explain the HCF. How do you find the HCF of the given two numbers? Thank you.